Welcome to Book Review Friday, and today we'll be reviewing the book The Power of Positive Thinking by Dr. Norman Vincent. And yeah, without further ado, let's just get into it.
Hey, look, a new subscriber.
Hello my loves, welcome to my YouTube channel. Hi, my name is Melody. I'm a Nigerian-based content creator. If this is the first time you're seeing my face here on YouTube, thank you very much for stopping by. But if not, please do well to subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, let's talk about the book we have for today. Today's book is The Power of Positive Thinking. I have been going in depth on a lot of self-development materials lately, and that's majorly because as someone in her 20s, I'm at a place where I don't really know exactly what I'm doing, and so does a lot of people. Like, they have no idea what they are really doing, and we just need help and assistance in some sort of way. And that's why I'm out here putting in the effort to just make sure that some of us get an idea of what we are supposed to do at some point in our lives. And yeah, that is why I'm doing this. And if you don't know what Book Review Friday is, it is a Friday when I come here on my channel to review a helpful book, whether it is self-help, self-development, or financial, or even spiritual. And yeah, today's book is a very, very great self-help book, a bestseller, it is a very great book. If you haven't read it, yes, that is the part that you have been waiting for. I'll be leaving a link in my description that you can actually get the book from Amazon Audible for absolutely free. So if you want to check The Power of Positive Thinking, please go ahead and check the link in my description. And without further ado, let's talk about all of the juicy and beautiful things that this book has to offer. So first of all, this book, like I said, is a self-help book. It talks about thinking positively, having faith, and working more persistently to ensure that your life gets back together. Now, a little backstory about why this book is important. Now, today I have not been feeling okay. To be very honest, I haven't been feeling myself from the beginning of the day. And yes, I prayed, I did all of those things, I spoke to God about it, but then it was seeming like my physical body was tired. So it's not like I was depressed or something. No, I'm totally fine. But my physical body was really tired, and throughout that process, I was just laying in bed, binge watching some Netflix shows and all that. And I started work. I had some things to do that were on my table. I had some things on my desk that I needed to finish, and I just went ahead to finish them. And I was trying to prep for this video. Now, my laptop, I don't know what happened to it, whether it crashed, I don't know, I have no idea. And I was just sitting there looking at it, and I couldn't even print. The printer was jammed. Everything was just happening anyhow. It thought that it could happen to make everything just spoil for me, maybe because of this, before this video. But on the second thought, I was like, okay, this is what I want to talk about. This is what I'm eager to talk to you guys about today. And I just brought out my phone. Opened Netflix and just started watching the show. And I was just looking at the laptop. I was just staring at it. If you like, you stay. If you like, you do. If you like, you don't do. I couldn't do anything. It felt like, okay, network was the issue, but network was not the issue. The laptop was just, all of my browsers were just frozen. Everything was just going haywire. And I was like, okay, no problem. Since I'm going to be talking about positivity anyway, so I might as well just practice it before I come on here. So at least I would know what it feels like to be in a situation where it's you're not going to get any answers, but at the end of the day, you know what you're doing for yourself. You know the importance of what you're actually doing for yourself. And yeah, that is the basis on which we're going to be talking about this particular book. I'm going to be talking about some principles of positive thinking. Now, there are a lot of things that you want to do to ensure that you don't get caught by surprise when bad things happen to you, or when things don't go as you planned, just as it happened to me today. I calculated it and I thought, oh, if I stand up from my bed by this time, I'm going to be done with this by this time, and I'm going to be done with that. And by now, I would have finished editing this video, to be very honest. To be fair, I would have been done editing this video because it's a sit-down video and I just wanted to film and edit and be published. on Friday, so it's like I didn't want this video on my plate, but then it's already like late and I decided, why not, I'm going to do this anyway. This is the what I had on my to-do list for today, so I'm going to do it anyway. So yeah, I am doing it. So one principle that would help you to be a much positive thinker is positive self-talk. Now you have situations where if you were in my shoes, you could have probably beaten yourself up and said, oh, I'm too lazy, I knew this was not going to work. I was pissed, but not at myself, but at the laptop. See, I was pissed. I knew that, okay, this was a huge mess up, but it wasn't from me. It wasn't my fault. My body said it needed rest today, and I did rest. So if things did not happen as I planned, and they were not, within my power to change them, and so that's why I couldn't change anything, I can't blame myself. I won't go around and say, oh, Melody, you're so this, you're so that, I knew this was not going to work today. Bro, it's working. It's working right now, because I was like, yeah, since I'm talking about this book today, I might as well just take out, all of those thoughts from my head. It will never even come. So those thoughts never even crossed my mind. But I'm just telling you, like, in this situation, this is what could have happened. This is what someone could have easily just said to themselves, not minding the consequences of these words over time. They don't mind. They don't know. Some of us, don't know the impact of these words over time in our lives. I was talking on my last book review about crushing your insecurities, and I was talking about how some of us get these insecurities from when we were little, and people say things to us, and then we just grew up and thought that it was our normal lives, and then when we get incorporated into the society, people just see us as weird or not fit to be there, because we have some cultures or some mentalities that are not normal. You understand what I'm trying to say? So if you do it by yourself and you talk to yourself anyhow, like negative self-talk, oh, you're never going to get this done, I knew that you were going to flop this, I knew that this thing was not going to work. Sis, bro, just breathe in and don't talk badly to yourselves. You mean a lot to you. You're supposed to mean a lot to you, and that's one thing, you're all you've got. Then don't be like that towards yourself. If there's a situation, if you cannot handle it, there's this thing going on in that on the Christian content creator space, and this idea or narrative, like Jesus Christ slept in the middle of the storm, Daniel slept in the middle of the lion's den. So the only thing that teaches me is that whenever I'm in the middle of a problem, I should just take a nap. And while that is not practically what those passages were teaching, it just only simply means that, man, if I'm going through stress, though some of you are going to say, oh, if you wake up, the problem is still going to be there, but at least you know that you've gotten a decent amount of sleep. Before you wake up and face it again, you are energized to face it. And who knows if that's the energy that you need. I don't know if anybody is grabbing, but talk to yourself more positively. And I'm not saying like nicely, I'm saying like proclaim more better things to yourself, if that helps and if it makes sense. And the second principle that this book highlights is visualizing positivity. Now, it's like, there's also another trend going on social media that some people post a very unrealistic situation, and then they just at the end they just be like, imagination won't kill me or something like that. Just visualize who you want to be. As I'm sitting here, I know that there's some days where I've been on my bed and I'm like, oh, this is what my life could look like. This is who I could be. This is how I could, like, I've thought about it. I've sat down, I've really thought about it. Even though I'm not saying, oh, I have a clear vision and say, oh, I'm going to have this job at this age, or I'm going to be having a business that's this big at this age. Whatever that looks like, yeah, even though that's not the mindset that is like directly in my head, I know what success feels like to me. I know what my life being great feels like to me, and I know what it looks like, and I can see it. And if I get to see it right now, I will recognize that this is what my life is supposed to look like. So visualize it. If you always get to see yourself, oh, I knew you were going to be a failure, and then you're just thinking about, oh, if something gets ruined, if this your life that you're trying to build gets ruined, or you're going to end up in a ditch, or this is where you're going to end up, this is what you're going to end up as, it's going to be bad, your life is going to be terrible. And as much as you might feel like nobody has that much, negativity in them, some people do. And it's not like they are bad people. It's just that sometimes they don't give themselves like more grace, which is something I keep saying. I also said in my last video, I am trying as much as possible to give myself more grace, even though I'm not that bad of a talker. But sometimes it's like you don't even see how great your life is going because you're always picking out one thing or another thing that is bad about it. Don't do that. Look at your future and see every single great possibility happening to you. Even though you don't get to that point, you know that there was something that motivated you, your intentions motivated you. There was something that helped you to, be that person. Do I make sense? Am I seeing something? Am I seeing something? Visualize who you want to be, as big as imagine the best life possible. And let me watch you get it. I will watch you get it. The third principle that this book was really highlighting was affirmations. We know that this thing is everywhere. But then we can also say that, we can also call them proclamations. You say these things to God. You say these things to yourself. Whatever you bound on earth is bound in heaven, and that's just how it is. When you say these things to the ears of God, though you might say it every day, though you might need to say it for a month, you might need to say it for a year, but God will listen to you. And then there's another thing about having affirmations and all that. It gives you this shape. When you keep saying, oh, I'm beautiful, oh, I'm this, when you keep saying all of those things, it shapes your mind, and in turn it shapes your attitude, it shapes you. I don't know if you guys get what I'm talking about though. It doesn't only make you just the person that you are with mere words. Words shape you. Just like they can break you, they can also shape you. It gives you this new look. Like when you come out and then, before coming out, you have to tell yourself how confident and how capable you are. When you come out, nobody can match that energy. Nobody. And people are going to feel it. And that's how God also feels it. That's how heaven also hears you. And then when you start saying those things regularly, in that strength, in that mind, you start becoming that thing just outwardly. It's not like if you say, oh, I'm rich, you automatically become rich. But then when you say you are rich, you know what rich people should walk like. You know what they should look like. You know where they should be and where they shouldn't. You know what people that they talk to. You know conversations that they engage in and the ones that they don't. And then when you start acting that way, like you start shedding some things off of your life and you start getting towards what you say you are, then heaven sees that you're getting ready. I don't know if you guys get it, but it prepares you. Heaven sees that you are getting ready to be this person that you say that you are every day, that you proclaim this. Heaven sees you, and heaven recognizes that, yes, this is who she says she wants to be, or this is who she says she is. Then let her have it, because she has been preparing long enough, and she has been, shaping herself to be that person long enough, and that is what she deserves. Makes sense, right? I know it does make sense. You're welcome. And for number 4, one important principle is to be optimistic. Now, it's to be positive. Like, don't see the bad in everything. Just like now, I feel like this time filming by this, like at this moment, is probably the best thing that I would have done for myself. Because if at that time I was actually looking, to prepare for this video, I was going to film by this time, I would have gotten distracted a lot. While I was trying to prepare, I was getting distracted a lot. And now, like, ever since I started filming, I've not gotten any sort of distractions. I've just been here filming, and things have been going great throughout this video. And it's just, don't look at the bad in everything. no matter what happens, there's a lot of problems that I'm facing right now. There's a saying that every disappointment is a blessing. Don't look at disappointments as a roadblock. Don't look at them as a stumbling block. Don't look at them as a wall. Even the wall of Jericho came down, bruh. So don't look at it like that. Look at failures and setbacks as opportunities to retract, retrace your steps, learn, improve. Like, there are a lot of things you can look at that as, but then some of us just end up choosing to look at it as failures and disappointments, and it's just like, there's nothing I can do about it. It's gone, my life is done, I can't make anything out of it. Who said? Okay, be optimistic. If it happens, then it happened for a reason. Even though you don't see it, it does happen for a reason. And there's another thing too that has crossed my mind through this whole thing. Some of us have gone through a lot. Like, while growing up, things weren't easy for us, but we have tried to ensure that we come out as who we are right now. And if that isn't a success story that is worth telling to the new generation, then I don't know what is. If you didn't face it, what will you tell people? And I'm not saying, everybody needs to have a story. I'm just saying you are privileged to have a story. All you have to do is to tell it. Use it to encourage somebody else. Maybe you went through that, knowing your capacity that you're going to be able to come out of it. Just so somebody else that may not have the capacity to come out of it alone can learn from you. Just so if you're wondering, it's a personal experience too, but it can work. It can work for everybody, and I know that. Now on to the next one. This book also talks about how you can incorporate positive thinking into your daily life. So rather than just telling you, okay, this is what you should do, it also explains how you should do it. And then for the first idea that this book gives is to focus on the positives. Now you go to work and then there's this co-worker that feels like they are the shit, they are the ish, they are your problem, or you are their problem, whatever the situation is. Why don't you look at it like, this person might be a pain in my ass, but then maybe this person, I can use them to learn endurance, because definitely if you work somewhere, in my own assumption, that's not really the place that you want to end up in your entire life. And think about it like, okay, what if there is a more difficult person in my next place of work? What if there's a more difficult situation in my next place of work? What if I would need these techniques and these skills? Because to be very honest, that's how I've been seeing it lately. Like, I told you guys I work in 9 to 5, and I'm like, when things happen, I'm like, okay, yes, I want to go higher in life, even though I don't want to technically work for anybody anymore. I'm like, once I have my own business, of course, I'm an entrepreneur. I want to be able to grow my business, to be bigger and all of that. And I want to be able to trust myself that when I engage clients that are not exactly the best, I know how to handle them, because yes, I had first-hand experience of how that co-worker was brutally, disrespectful and problematic, if I would say. Like, take everything. If you do take everything as a lesson or as a teacher or as an experience, as the case may be, to be very honest, I feel like you can get through it, because it's like when someone throws lemons at you, you make lemonade. It's like when they come with their problems, just practice it. If you have a co-worker that is a pain in the ass, they feel like you're their problem at work, yes, ignore them. But then don't just ignore them and say, oh, God will punish you, and ignore that kind of ignore. Ignore them and learn from it. Practice with them. Practice with them. Just think to yourself, what if I come across somebody that is willing to give me money for my services, and the person has this type of attitude? I know there is no need, for anyone to take toxicity because they want to earn money. And there's no need for anyone to give out toxic behavior just because they're giving you money. But it's like, sometimes you meet them. Maybe 1 in 5,000, but you might meet them. Maybe they are dealing with a lot and you don't even have an idea. that's really extra charge if you're able to handle them. I am just saying, but if that's the situation, just think about it. Use it to learn. You might come across people that might come off as the same way, and they might need some sort of closure, if that makes sense. And then you can come in and be the expert at people, person, management, I don't know, that you are. So don't look at it as it's a problem. Just look at it as an opportunity. And also the person will get pissed if you start looking at it like that, because they will notice that you're not getting pissed anymore. And then they'll start getting pissed, which is a win-win if you ask me. And for the number 2 way that you can incorporate positive thinking into your day is to practice gratitude. Now, I have a journal that I published on Amazon. The link is also the first link in the description. You can also go ahead to just click on the link, purchase that journal, and it will be shipped to you from Amazon. But the thing is, when you practice gratitude, it's like you count your blessings as much as you can, as many blessings as you can count. You count your blessings, and when bad things happen to you, it's like they are just a fragment of your entire great life. And whether your life is great or not in your eyes, believe me, this might be cliche, but there are a lot of people who would kill to be in your shoes. Like I said, it might be cliche, but take my word for it. I promise you, take my word for it. This is from experience, and I'm not even joking. When you practice gratitude, it might look like you don't have problems. People might just start suspecting that you don't have problems. It might, yeah. When you're really grateful, it's like things don't get to you as much, because you're blessed. You're blessed. So if something bad happens, it's part of life. You take it like that. You take it like that. There's nothing anybody can say that's going to bother you. Obviously, you would get hurt. Obviously, you have feelings, you're human. But is it that bother you going to bed, sleeping over it, and coming up the next morning and thinking about when you have things that you are grateful for every day? Even if you sleep with it, the next morning when you wake up and you know that gratitude is part of your daily life, you will forget. You will forget that this mess up happened, or you messed up, or somebody else messed up, or things didn't go as planned the previous day. Other ways that you can actually incorporate positive thinking into your day is positive affirmations and also visualizations. So like just basically waking up in the morning, and instead of maybe thinking about can this day get any worse, just think about the best things. Sometimes you might just fantasize and think about maybe you bumping into someone great. Imagine every day you expect to bump into the best person in the world. You will be at your best behavior every day. And I'm not saying do it for somebody else. I'm saying whatever you do, the world sees you. When you are positive, you're a positive thinker, you are someone that is very optimistic, you're someone that's always looking for the best in every day. It's so difficult for people to not see that, even though some people would hate it, but it's just hard for people to not see that. And it's hard for it's hard for you to not also recognize that this is how you are, or this is how you're building yourself to be. So just think about it. What if you are going to have the best day of your life today? Would you do it angry? That's one thing about visualization. Think about it. Look at yourself having the best day ever. And if things happen, it's just a fragment of an entire 24 hours. It doesn't have to be the whole of your day. To be very honest. And I know sometimes it might come up as, oh, you don't care, or you're not trying to care, but you do care. But what will happen? Will you kill yourself? No. This book generally is a great book, and yes, I 100% recommend. Just go ahead and check it out. There are examples. Maybe you think that, okay, your situation is too bad. There are also examples. There are a lot of relatable stories there that you can fit into your daily life and just see how these people handle themselves and how you can also do the same. So yeah, like I said from the beginning of this video, if you want to check out the book, you can actually get it for free if you're signing up for the first time on Amazon Audible, and the link will be in the description. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any books that you want me to review for you guys, please leave it in the comment section and let me know if this book is, you know, helpful, or if you're going to read it or not. You should read it, it's a recommendation anyways, but let me know if you're going to read this book, and also if you have any books that you want me to recommend for you. Yeah, my name is Melody, and I feel like you should subscribe to my channel just so we can grow on here and keep the vibe going. Thank you very much, and also don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next video and also my next book review Friday. Bye.